Hello again. Elle here, your friendly social work librarian. So in the last video, we talked about choosing the databases that you might want to use to conduct your searches in. But before we actually get into, what that literature is and further into these databases, I want to talk a little bit more about how do you structure a search so that you're getting the most effective search and getting the best results out of that search. So for that, we want to think about key terms that are going to be related to our subject areas. And sometimes, we will know off the top of our head some great key terms. So like if we are looking at youth, and let's do our homelessness situation, and let's do a queer population. Um, so as you'll notice, I'm breaking these up. So I've got sort of like my population here, my youth, my issue, homelessness, and then sort of the context over here, my LGBT, my queer population. And so then what I want to do, and I'll demo this really quickly, right? So if I'm just using these three search terms, that's, a decent amount of search results. But I know that I'm missing some because there are going to be terms that the literature is going to use that I'm not capturing here. So unlike a Google search where Google's like, oh, you're mentioning youth, I think you also probably want to take a look at like all of these kinds of things. The same thing with homelessness, same thing with queer. Google is going to tell you what it thinks you want to see. Within the academic databases, that's a little bit different. So rather than the academic databases trying to guess what you want, the academic databases really want you to tell them exactly what you want to search for. So then we need to really think about what are the different terms that the literature might use. And so I can do some brainstorming. I'm going to separate these by ORs, and you'll notice like as I start typing, some recommendations pop up here, and these aren't bad to use. These are just things that other people have used in the past. So I like to use these as brainstorming, but I'm going to tweak these a little bit. And so as you'll notice, I'm doing some things here. So I am adding an asterisk to the end of this so that this is going to pull up adolescent and adolescents. And then when I come over here to young people, I'm going to put quotation marks around this. And the quotation marks are saying I only want to search for this as an exact phrase, not as separate words. For teen, I'm going to use that asterisk again so that it'll pick up teen, teenager, teenagers. And I'm capitalizing these ORs. Within EBSCOhost, you don't have to capitalize these. I like to capitalize them because then I can more easily just visualize between my different terms. But also it's just a good habit to get in because there are some other databases that will require that the OR be capitalized. So with young adults, again, putting quotation marks, and you can combine the truncation and the quotation marks here, as you can see. So this is going to pull up young adults or young adults. And then we'll do homeless. And then let's say that I just don't have a really good idea of like what are some other terms that might be used for that. So I am going to actually sort of like pause. Once I've sort of I've sort of brainstormed the best that I can. But I'm not 100% sure that I've captured all of the best terms. So in the next video, I am going to back out of the databases for a second and really talk about background information and what's going to be the best way to identify the most effective terms to add into your search strategy.